Update on the Mark VIII IRS install. Cut out the rear perches from this area here and over here. And in this area, that's where the spare tire mount goes. Cut those out, and I'm going to make a cut from here up and then over on the outside of it here. And I've got it leveled all the way around so that it's where it ought to be. And I'll provide an update when I'm farther. Well, we have what I claim is a victory. This is the rear cross member where the two shocks went into the back of the truck. As you can see, it's cut off at that angle right there on both sides. And the whole cross member came out with it. Right here is what we have left. So there was a little hole, as I said. The hole used to be right here, and that was where the spare tire mount hooked up. So you cut the back of that hole on both sides, and then you come up 1 3/4 inch from that marking, and then you go straight across until it bottoms out, basically until the side of the until the side of the frame goes away. I do the same on the other side here, just like that. So now that I've got that done, I can take my plate that I have right here, and that will sit up in here. So I'll be able to weld that where it goes, and it'll sit right where the right underneath the independent suspension there. Same over here. It'll sit right there. And this, of course, goes right here. So there'll be a hole right here, right there, and it'll sit, on top of this perch, and the spring will sit under it over there. So that's probably all I'm going to get done today. The day's going by here, but if I do any more, I'll add more to this video, and if not, then you'll have to wait for a part whatever. Anyway, that's the long and short of it for now. Thanks. So using Mike Lane's diagram here, you just freeze that picture there if you need to know the measurements for these plates. So using that measurement, it's for this top hole right here, it's 3 inches in and 3 inches in, and it ends up right in that dot right there. And then over here is 2 1/4 inches in, and that's about right here. And then 3 inches in, and that's right there. So that's where my hole is. So I drill a hole right there. And then this area right here will get cut out. This whole area will get cut out and then used to brace the trailing arm on the Crown Vic front end. So we'll go from there. Okay, so let's identify a couple problems so far. So I've got it sitting in there. It's just being held by the cherry picker here and a jack. And what I found so far is that with the bolts that I'm using, it is right up against the side of the frame rail on both sides, which is fine. It just needs to have the washer cut on the bottom of it so it can sit flush. Problem number 2 is that this hump right here interferes with the cut of the frame. So what I'm going to have to do is come down about, I don't know, finger's width or something, and I can cut from here to here and back to clearance that area. And that will make it so that everything fits the way it ought to, and this whole thing can slide backwards so that the wheels line up with the old axle center line. Otherwise, it seems to be fitting pretty good. I still have to cut out this area right here, and I will eventually here, but you know, it's just not high on the priority list at the moment. So that's where I am, and then I'll weld on those plates there. I've got the bar stock around here somewhere. I'm using it for my jack. Hold on. Grab this other one. There we go. So I'll cut this at appropriate angles, and that'll sit right there up against the frame. So it is a lot it is a lot more work than using the nice kit, but it can be done, and it's a lot less expensive for sure. So I just got to figure what these angles are, weld that puppy on, put a square on the bottom of that, and then we're good to go. So I'll update you if there's any more progress after this. Well, here's where I'm stopping for the night. It's hanging in there. Got it, you know, partly welded in and tacked in to the top here. And I welded up the sides of this bolt, so it's going to stay there. Same over here. Welded it up and, you know, tacked it in a few spots so that it'll hang out where it is until I can find some more time and finish weld it. And there she sits. So I still need to work on these front supports. That's no big deal. Just gotta get those angles right and put it on. So here's what it looks like. Again, still I'll cut out this area here and whatnot and use that steel to gusset up some other areas. And that's how it looks in the back. So once I get all that stuff welded in, I'll drop it all back out and repaint this whole back of the truck here, strip it down, paint it. One thing I didn't show with the Crown Vic front is that the back, I don't know if you can see it here, you can't see it, but there's a stud that sticks out back here behind the motor. You can see there's room behind there, just not a whole bunch. There's a stud that sticks out behind the motor that has a bracket bolted onto it, and that stud interfered with the firewall, so I had to shave that down a little bit, but now it fits like it ought to. And there's that front end just the way it ought to be in there. It's pretty. So I'm going to go with these Mustang wheels, and which seem to fit in there really well. I think I could even, you know, build a little more of a dish, but I like the way those look. And put some beefier truck-like tires on it. And the same over here. I've got the Crown Vic wheels over here. But there's the truck as she sits. You see how low it went in the front here. You know, just about a little over my wrist. You know, off the ground. So what is that? 9 inches, something like that. Yeah, it's about 8.5, 9 inches. Plenty of clearance. And there she sits. Oh, thank you. And there's the kit. So I'm gonna call it a night, and I guess the next part will be part whatever, and we'll see you again.